Hi, folks, and welcome to my last screencast for this online course. This is Module 8, Bringing It All Together. Um, and since I did my review of Canva, I used Canva to record the poster and this screencast. What I did was in the review, I said that this would be a great tool for a business and branding. So I just did a kind of a simulation on my online course as if it were a online learning academy, since we watched a couple previews of online learning academies. Just bear with me, it's just for fun and fantasy. Um, but you can see that I called my academy the Glass Half Full Academy, and it's an online education academy at the high school level. The philosophy of me as a teacher, which I developed throughout this course, was that my role is as a facilitator and a provider of knowledge and instructional material for the students that are taking this course online. I myself as a teacher are going to be the guide, and I'll help students to explore and understand their natural world. I feel like my academy sets itself apart from a lot of other academies because it has this hybrid learning environment where students would both come to school and use the tools of my classroom, many of which would be impossible for them to secure on their own in their homeschool environment. We've got microscopes, which are each $500 to $600, and a catalog of slides that's numbered in the hundreds, as well as some lab aids like boxes of human bones, dissection tools, and dissection subjects as well. Things like that you might not know, but they're thousands and thousands of dollars worth of expenditures that have been accumulated here in the brick and mortar school over the last 50 years, and I keep them in good shape, and we reuse them year after year. The laptops and cell phones, however, would be the thing that my students would provide. We have started a one-to-one initiative here, so they've got some pretty up-to-date current laptops, and the cell phones that they use have some of the best cameras. I used to do units in digital photography with my anatomy courses, but now I've completely phased out using the old digital cameras in lieu of the new Apple iPhones and the other Droid phone uh, applications with the camera. So it provides a really unique opportunity. Um, what I said about the things that I learned throughout this course about online learning, and most of these were derived from our Rice book, were that online learning provides the opportunity for learning to occur around the clock, 24/7, wherever you have your phone, wherever you have your computer. That's where you can turn your phone into a classroom. Um, the other thing that I learned, which is going to be a takeaway at the end, is how learning centered classrooms um, that have the students as the center uh, are are the key. Um, and those things can be achieved by active participation of the students as they work through a lesson, um, authentic assessments that are provided by the teacher, and collaboration between students and teachers. And all these things were noted in Rice in chapter 2, page 27. Furthermore, this student-centered classroom, one of the most important things that you can do as a teacher is to facilitate the building of a student community. So from day one, when we do our first ice-breaking activity, we'll start to build this community. And I'll use things that were modeled in this online classroom, things like threaded discussions and comments, um, along with recorded videos using the Screencast-O-Matic and audio files, as well as some of the other tools that I learned with Edpuzzle. And then we'll use some shared collaborative spaces so that students can discuss questions both in and outside of class and work on problems both in and outside of class. The class itself that I'm going to teach, of course, it's my anatomy and physiology elective, which I have 70 students take every year. And in study of human anatomy, I give these students a unit on histology to introduce, preview, and provide an overview of the whole year. So we go through this histology, of which I gave you a couple samples in the units that I developed throughout this class. I'm going to present it on the Learning Management System Canvas, and within it, as I've already said, I'm going to use some of the features like Edpuzzle, Screencast-O-Matic, Google Docs, and I'm going to explore a little bit of the Google Hangouts, as well as some of the things that Canvas have to offer that I'm not 100% familiar with yet. But Canvas also adds a Canvas conferencing area that the tech coordinator is going to get with me, and we're going to explore for the start of the school year next year, September 2017. I see this class being a flipped classroom environment. I want to have the students working at home on the lessons that I present to them. I'll use screencasts and some of my slide presentations that I previewed before. And then I'll have the students come in, and that's what they'll get to use in class. We'll review things, and then they'll set to work doing a lab, authentic assessments, and labs on identifying these slides through their microscopes in order to collaborate to build these portfolios of slides, which they're going to photograph, they're going to edit, and they're going to complete as groups to show that they've mastered the subjects of each of these groups, 4 groups of tissues, and the 15 slides. It is all being developed in my mind and on paper, and it's looking like it's going to be a reality starting this next school year. So going back through the things that I learned from this class that were like formative moments for me. Obviously, I've touched on the student-centered learning aspect, the fact that this class was taught from this student-centered aspect, and it really caused me to completely buy into this. I must admit, I came to this being somewhat of an online skeptic. I'm sort of one of those old dogs that's learning a new trick, and I was a bit skeptical, but as I got wrapped up in this, I'm learning slowly, I'll admit, but I'm completely being brought over to the power of this online teaching tool. Our technology coordinator introduced this SAMR technology integration model, which was another aha moment, not necessarily in the course, but outside of the course. And the way she presented it to me was that I started this course and I was just in the first 2 levels of the SAMR model. I was using tech tools in my classroom kind of in a redundant fashion. But I'm looking forward to moving this into the M modification and R redefinition phases for next year so that I can, more fully use our Canvas system and teach these kids in this flipped classroom environment and through the online techniques. I was also going to use the asynchronous techniques, probably more so than the synchronous, because I'm still not feeling completely comfortable with the synchronous courses. But I'm learning. Um, which brings me to the third point, the contrast that I've seen over and over in myself. And then, as I highlighted in one discussion, between my son, who is a senior who wasn't part of the one-to-one initiative, and my daughter, who is a sophomore, and she's into this one-to-one initiative. And the difference between the students who are immersed in this culture and the 21st century learning, like my daughter, and the ones who, like myself and my son, are more reluctant followers. The digital immigrants. I used to laugh at those titles, but now I completely understand what they're saying. And the last aha moment, no matter how small, it took this class for me to realize that, through Canvas and Google here at Lower Dauphin, I actually have a YouTube channel that now I've got several videos on, and I'm using it for this course. And moving forward, I'll be using that a lot. And although that seems small, I never knew how to start it, and I always thought it was just a stupid question to ask. So I'm moving forward with all these awesome tools that I'm going to be using in the future. The last thing I want to say, and this is off screen without the help of Canva, is that there's special considerations that I need to take into account. I need to make sure that I concentrate on this online community, getting my classroom up and started from the first day using an ice-breaking technique that shows them that I'm using this technology in a very real way to bring them together and make them the center of this class. I'll be there to present the core knowledge in a flipped classroom environment, and in that way I can foster discussions and create um, an, a learning environment between students and between myself and my students. And then I'm going to also give them a place to collaborate on the side in their Google Docs area with creating these digital portfolios at three different points throughout the classroom. One of my most major concerns is the meeting the requirements of the IEPs and the GIEPs and the 504 plans that come up with me each year at the classroom level. I see them as being very attainable for me in the brick and mortar school. But I know from our unit on the UDL, Universal Design for Learners, that this is going to be a huge challenge for me. I'm going to have to keep these resources available. I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have to restudy them. It was a difficult unit for me, the most difficult unit for me. And I'm going to keep continuing to develop myself in that area. Um, the last thing is to just thank everybody who put up with some of my stupid questions and some of my slowness when it came to my comments. I really enjoyed this class. It started me on this whole new era of my teaching career. Post discussions, Ali, for you pushing us and immersing us in this online environment. It was just a great experience. And for that, I have everybody to thank, and I'm looking forward to this new adventure. So that's all for this last presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.